Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. The day before Juventus Sevilla Europa League semi-final. If a European semi-final is always important, is a thriller. When you are at that moment, of course you want to beat that home and away game to reach the final. Because whatever competition, Champions League, Europa League, from the moment that you are there, so close, you want to bring back European silverware, especially if your name is Juventus and you have a bit of bad luck in European competition. It's already some years that you are not able to bring some European trophies into your museum. Well, now you have an opportunity to do it. But first of all, you have to beat Sevilla. And that starts tomorrow in the home game in the Allianz Stadium. In today's video, we will not speak too much about the Sevilla game. We will come back on that this evening, probably with a live translating the words of Max Allegri with a player in the press conference. I want to focus on the good news, the future perspective. The Juve of Cristiano Giuntoli. But first of all, we have to speak about the bad news. When I told you that we have an amazing opportunity, it's the reality. But unfortunately, the papers are telling us, the journalists are telling us, the official lawyers, the court is telling us that we are going towards one direction. Juventus not participating to the European competition of 23-24. And this is a real disaster news. Is it official? No. If you want to know a bit more, click the links there or whatever, and you will be redirected to the videos that I made to explain the motivations of Koni. But now we have a bad news. Probably we are not playing. That you qualify in top 4, they will take you away some points. That you win Europa League, even winning that trophy against Roma or Leverkusen, if you are able to go through the semi-final against Sevilla, well, they can potentially UEFA ban you to participate to the other one. Well, that means that this is maybe a last opportunity to bring a joy to Juventini, to the population, to the fans all around the world, the Juventini of the world. So I hope that Juventus understand totally that you can't enter as you entered in Coppa Italia against Inter. Now you will have to do it in a total different way, being convinced of yourself. But this is something that we have to talk about in another moment. Guys, continue, as I asked you yesterday and 2 days ago, to put a maximum of likes to the video. It is working. It's not a mystery. 2 times I really asked you and you did it. Over 500, over 600 likes on the video, and the video is shared with a lot of Juventini. So maximum of like, subscribe to the channel if you didn't yet. We go with the mission of Giuntoli, because this is how Tuttosport is opening their front page. La missione di Giuntoli. What is the mission of Giuntoli? Well, first of all, let's understand why they are saying that. Because yesterday, there was John Elkann that was at the charity event of the Foundation Agnelli in Napoli. Some controversy, but let's put aside the controversy and focus on the important things. When he received a question from journalists, will Giuntoli be there? He didn't say, no, we don't know, let's see, I can't answer this question. He said one thing, really important. He is the one that will decide. He has a lot of offers, a lot of proposals. He will be the one that will decide. Is it a secret that Juventus is on Giuntoli? Absolutely not. It's already some days that we are speaking about Cristiano, the new phenomenon of sporting directors. But now if John Elkann is not closing the door, we can already start building a future with Cristiano Giuntoli. Arriva Giuntoli, Tuttosport. Max can stay. Max Allegri can stay. We know it. He has a contract until 2025. But pay attention, if there is the call of Paris Saint-Germain, he could potentially also leave, because his agreement to sign a 4-year contract was with the old management, not with the new one. I don't want to speak too much about coaches in that video. Who is on the list? Well, they're speaking about 2 young emerging coaches. Ex-Juve players, the defender Igor Tudor from Marseille now, and also the striker, ex-Juve Paladino, that is now at Monza. But that's a topic for another video. First, we have to rebuild and change with a big restyling of the sporting structure of the management. Well, if, as we are all thinking today, Giuntoli Cristiano will arrive, well, it doesn't change one role. The CFO, the Chief Football Officer, and this is Calvo. Calvo that is also choosing and asking and proposing to Giuntoli to start back a new sporting figure at Juventus that we are missing today, because Cherubini is banned and he can't do all the tasks that he needs to do. So restyling with Cristiano Giuntoli. CFO Calvo, sporting director Giuntoli. Attenzione, sporting director is not the one that is going all around the world to scout players, but is the one that is managing all the sporting side. Then we have under him a chief scout, and here we are speaking about scout, and he would bring in at Juventus his right hand. Who is that? Well, we are speaking about Pompilio Giuseppe, the one that is already working with him at Napoli. And under them, they also want to take one that worked 1 year in the past and really well known from Giuntoli. They're speaking about Stefano Stefanelli, that is now the sporting director at Cesena. He would come in to take care of the next gen project. So we have a total new sporting management. What about Cherubini? What about Manna? What about Tognozzi? They all have a contract until 2024, and they could potentially also stay with different roles. Not anymore the one that they were doing, but different roles in the management of Juve, and probably be tested and trying to work together. The philosophy of Juve that, let's not lie, is working, especially on new next gen products that are going on and flowing in, and this is a product and a project led by, in the past, Cherubini, Manna and Tognozzi. So merging the two philosophies and making something new could be a really great one. That, again, Giuntoli is close to Juve. It's not only Tutto Sport that is speaking about it, but also Corriere dello Sport, and as you see in that double page, also Gazzetta. Elkan is calling Giuntoli. Now, I told you, Juventus could potentially be out, and they are speaking about making a deal. We don't know yet what all the details, but we are going towards a deal that Juventus would say, you know, even if not guilty, let's find a deal so that we miss only 1 year out of Europe. And there we are going towards a Giuntoli that is going towards a big challenge. Because a lot of you will tell me, Beppe, but if we are out of Europe, would it be challenging enough for a sporting director that just won with Napoli the Scudetto after 33 years, after a project that he built for 8 consecutive years? Would it be challenging enough for Giuntoli to arrive? Well, I go back to my years as a big manager when I was doing interviews and so on, but also to myself, I was always thinking, look, if I receive 2 projects managing stores around Europe, from elite stores that were already working with a fantastic structure, or I receive another project, stores that were probably not working really well, with not all the staff that was performing really well, with a structure that was not really working well, with performances, results that were not great, what would I choose? The great one, the prestige one, the elite one, or the other one, the difficult one? Well, I personally would have always gone, and that's what I did in my career, to the difficult one. Why? Because this is a real challenge. Being able, after a few years of work, to say, look what I did. Look what I did. This is my work. This is my thing. I will write my name in history of that project. While on the other one, you are just following. You are controlling that everything is continuing to work, while the other one, you are really working. That's me. And I believe that Giuntoli, after 8 years at Napoli, after being at Carpi and doing a fantastic work, well, being at Juve, alla Marotta 2010 when he came from Sampdoria, being able to manage a project like that and to bring back Juventus at the top in Italy and in Europe would be a fantastic challenge. So I believe that it's a really, really big one. Now, it's not over, because he will have a big work. First, we know it, selling. Selling, taking decision on renewals, yes or no, and then building a new future. A new future that, forget about it, no Holland, no Mbappe. These names are not possible for Juventus. It was already not possible with, so imagine, without cups. Now, who is on the priority list of Giuntoli to make sure that they are leaving Juventus for next season? We have Alexandro, Quadrado, Rabiot, that without cups will not stay, Szczesny, with a big salary. He could potentially stay, but the salary can be a real problem if you are not playing cups. Vlahovic, we know it, young player coming from Fiorentina this year, had already some problems with Allegri, not being able to smile all the season. A lot of teams are on him. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, the Premier League is calling. Well, he could be potentially one that we would sacrifice, because we need also, without cups, to take some money from somewhere, because, you know, with no Champions League, hey, you are missing 70 million euro. Paredes, that will not be renewed, will going back to Paris Saint-Germain, but then you also have the other ones that can potentially come back. McKennie, Arthur, Zakaria. So a big word there to stop renewals, to sell some players, and also the ones that are coming back taking a decision. Then Juventus is thinking about the future. If you are with cups, you can go to Grimaldo, you can go to Pau Torres, you can go to players like Fresneda, for example, that Juventus is on. Without cups, well, you have to change your perspective, giving more trust to the next gen, but also bringing back some players from loan, but also trying to sign some players with some possibilities on loan, for example. Well, how can Juventus look like next season without cups? I went with Perin into the goal as a starting goalkeeper, and then you have a 4-3-3, four-man defense with Cambiaso coming back from loan, playing on the left side of the field, with Mazraoui on loan from Bayern Munich on the right side, Danilo, Bremer as center defenders. In the middle of the field, you have a Locatelli, Pogba from the first minute, and Fratesi from Sassuolo. Fratesi is an objective from Juventus. With or without cups, Juventus is already since long on the players, like Roma, like also Inter, but Juventus is really on him since a few seasons. On top, a Kneeling Jr. that can be a starter in that 4-3-3, with Chiesa on the right side and Scamacca. Yes, because we need a striker in the eventuality that Vlahovic is leaving. Scamacca from West Ham on loan. You don't spend a lot of money. Your big investment here in that starting lineup in that 4-3-3 is Fratesi from Sassuolo. Then, of course, you will tell me, Beppe, where are all the young players? Well, look at the B team. It's a B team that can play with a lot of rotation, of course, but Perin is there in the goal. Probably Juventus will go for another second goalkeeper. Well, Mattia Vitti, that is from Empoli, sold to Nice this season, 21 years old, could be a priority for Juventus. Left foot center defender. Huijsen promoted to the first team, and you will be happy about that. And Gatti, three-man defense that are really great. Of course, you need to take a decision with Rugani, with Bonucci, what will happen about their future. But look at that. You have 5 center defenders. These 3 plus Danilo and Bremer. I think that you are there since for a few years you are really great. Especially if you are taking in a Cambiaso and a Mazraoui, you are settled for the defense. Big restyling there, in probably a role where you really need to change a lot of things. In the middle of the field, well, on the wings, Kostic is still there. Barbieri promoted definitely on the first team, and then in the middle you have a really beautiful magic trio. Ravella, Fagioli and Miretti from the next gen. Fantastic. That's really beautiful. Does that mean that they are bench players? No, they will be rotational players, but look at that. 6 great midfielders, and then on top Moiskin and Milik. These are the 2 potential starting 11 from Juventus for next year, or potentially the big thing. Of course, you will have to take decision with a Sule, a Barrenechea, but also Di Maria. Di Maria could stay with or without cups, but this is something that will be seen after the end of the season. Guys, let me know, what do you think about that team? That team that is not the team built to win the Champions League, but probably a team that can do miracles like Juventus did in 2011, 2012 with Antonio Conte, with a new sporting director that is called Marotta, with at the time a new president Andrea Agnelli. What can Juventus do with that team? Can they maybe think to win Coppa Italia and Serie A playing once a week? Let me know in the comment. I hope you enjoyed that strange video without certainties, but with a bit of mercato, with a bit of objectives, with a bit of future, with maybe a bit of positive news. Young players with some ambition to build a new Juventus with Cristiano Giuntoli and his team. Grazie, forza, Juve.